Hi, everybody. Welcome again to another Business Breakthrough Google Hangout. It's Glenn Dietzel here, and I want to welcome all of you to our training event today. We're going to do something a little bit differently, and I'm going to be interviewing one of our Omega Mind clients today. I have no pictures that I'll be sharing with you about from Omega Mind, but we're going to be sending you those. You'll see those if you check out our Facebook page, our G Plus page. We've posted a couple already, but I'm going to interview one of our just recent Omega Mind members, Linda Schwader. And today I've got a few questions I'm going to be asking her, and I want her to help you. One of the reasons why I put Omega Mind together, and Omega Mind is sort of like, it's a whole new way of doing masterminding. If you're familiar with Napoleon Hill and his concept of a mastermind, what I've done I've created my own Megamind or my own mastermind system and program that really leverages the power of the new realities of the advisory age. Today, all Omega Mind members are working together, and one of the things that I'm just putting the last article for our July issue of Lifestyle Entrepreneur magazine together. Sorry, August issue, I should say. July will be coming out later this week. It's already. But what I like about the group is the level of trust that we have in the group. It's unsurpassed. I got through the 3-day intensive that we finished last Tuesday. Very excited about the 3 days. Really re-energized myself. And you're going to hear from Linda today as she shares her experiences. And I'm not going to disappear today and show you a lot of pictures and all of that. I want you to hear from Linda. So she's going to be the picture that I feature today. So this will be a little bit different. We're not going to break and shoot the sunset of the week picture of the Canadian lake home. If you check out my Facebook page, you'll see me the picture I would have shown, which we posted on our social media already today. It was a picture of me on a kayak just enjoying the sunset last evening, so you can check that out. But I really want to focus on Linda, and I've got some very specific questions. These aren't I have no idea what Linda's going to say, and I like being in the moment. One of the things I can tell you about really successful people today is they're able to make fast decisions. We had a last-minute cancellation for the 1-day intensive that I have this coming Monday on the 28th, so a week today. And here's how desperate some people want to come to a 1-day intensive with me. They know that a 1-day with me is $25,000, and I have somebody last minute, big name. You would know the name if I use that person's name right now, but is coming from Kiev, Ukraine. He's an American, works all over the world, is in Kiev right now, but coming to the 1-day at last minute. He's actually flying from Cyprus because he'll be speaking there this coming weekend and flying right from there to Toronto and then taking a 2-hour and 20-minute trip to the Canadian lake home. So that's what I mean about, successful people are able to make fast decisions. And one of the reasons why I created Omega Mind is to help everybody make faster decisions. A lot of us, different people in Omega Mind come in for different reasons. You'll meet Linda and you'll find out the reasons why she came into Omega Mind, which is different than anybody else's in Omega Mind. Everybody comes in for their own unique reasons. But here's some fundamental underlying concepts that I want you to understand. People understand today, Omega Mind members understand that we live in the advisory era. They understand that we're so populated with so much information online that today everybody needs assistance, myself included, in making the best decisions at the right time and leveraging speed to market. So it's not the big that eats the small, it's the fast that consumes the slow. And knowing that they have a team to help them close deals. And that's why I created Omega Mind, to help everybody to help each other close deals and grow their company, leveraging our coaching and co-branding model and our mastermind monetizer systems. So Omega Mind is, if you will, the new trend. It leverages the trend of masterminds, because it seems like every guru and expert has a mastermind group, right? But all of them are just sit and gets. That's really what they are. I've spent tens of, well, literally several $100,000 sitting in mastermind programs. I'm a guest speaker at a number of mastermind programs, and I'll tell you, at the end of the day, all they are is just sit and get. I call them a sit and get. You sit, you get a lot of information, but then you leave, and it's like, what do I do next? How do I execute? How do I focus? All right, and I created Omega Mind as a better version of that, where very specific actions and very specific measurable outcomes are the goal of the group, and we have a lot of fun because we leverage and focus on outcomes. So with that being said, I'm going to interview Linda right now. And Linda, welcome to our Business Breakthrough Google Hangout.
Welcome. Good to be here.
Yeah, great. So let's get to it right now. Just first of all, tell us a little bit of your background on what's brought you to where you are today.
Well, my background is in sales. I started selling door to door when I was in college to pay my way through college, and then
Hold on a second, Linda. There's background noise in your area. I'm not sure if it's your mic or whatever. Just to give you a heads up on that.
Is that better?
Yeah, I didn't hear it before when we did a test, and now, okay, that's better.
Okay, I just had a fan in the background, and you might not have heard it before.
No, I still hear it. It's still very loud.
There shouldn't be anything here. I have the door closed in my office, and there should be nothing. I'm sorry.
All right, if you could speak up, that would be great.
Okay, can you hear me better now?
That's better, yes.
Okay. Well, my background is in sales. I started selling when I was in college, and after that, I went to an insurance company. I've been in direct selling, and I recruited, trained, managed, and motivated salespeople, built sales organizations. And I've been in thousands and thousands of sales situations, and so that's my background, is in sales, teaching sales, helping salespeople, sell better. And
cool. Tell everybody how you first heard about me.
Okay. Well, it actually happened mid-April, and I was at a conference with a friend of mine who might be watching the Google Hangout today, Kaz, and we were at this 3-day internet marketing conference. And everything they were teaching was contrary to what you teach. They start with the $7 product, and if they like you, then they buy the $47, and then they're going to buy the $297, and they're going to up level because they like you. Well, it's just like painful to even think about doing that much work to even set up something to sell for $7. And I was sitting there just feeling totally overwhelmed. Kaz told me about you. She'd been to your one-day intensive in April. And then she introduced me to you. She sent my email to you and back and forth. And then you sent me a link. So it's the end of April, and I'm watching a link of somebody I'd never heard of before. But I liked what you had to say as far as everything you do is cutting edge. Like, in other words, the whole model seems to be the funnel. Get them in a small product and go bigger. Well, now what I've learned at your one-day, or at the Omega Mind, is people aren't buying $297 products online. Information is free. Everybody can go get any information they want. What they want is that they want the trusted advisor. They don't want the information because they can get to pay for the information. They want the information, but they don't want to pay for the information. So anyway, you sent me a link. I watched the link. I liked what you had to say. I like the idea of the intensives as a I like working with people deeper rather than wider. Get a bunch of people in a room, you get 500 people in a room, then you try to sell them something. Where you have the model of you get a few people that you've vetted, and you teach them really intensely and a lot of value. Now, I've never seen your one-day intensives, so I've only heard about them. But what the model that you teach, I really, really like. So I like the fact that the one-day intensives. I like that the model of the funnel, instead of the small product leading to the big, you have, go after the big product. And I like that.
Yeah, and I want to underscore one thing. You have to have a vetting process, right? So all of you want to write that down. I want to ask you this. What did you do, or to further what you just said, what did you do before you invested in Omega Mind? Like, anything else that you want to share on what you did to check me out, because we had never crossed paths before.
I'd never heard of you
Um,
before.
so, what else did you do, if you wanted to mention that?
Well, I mean, I did some research online. Your webinar. I'll tell you, a lot of it came from I trust my friend Kaz, and she'd been watching you for 12 years. So she'd been watching you almost since the beginning, but I hadn't heard your name, and I really value her opinion. And she went out to your one day intensive, and so she recommended you highly, and so that had a lot to do with it.
So I want to underscore that this is the advisory age, right? And people trust a few trusted advisors. And just as Linda trusted Kaz, all of you right now are in that kind of position too, right? Where people trust you for very specific decisions. And your marketplace is going to trust you through a third-party endorsement. So you really want to understand the power of the advisory age. Going through the educational material that you did go through, Linda, what were your biggest aha moments going through that? Anything else you want to further to what you've already mentioned?
Well, I think I knew some things intuitively in the marketplace, and just watching you diagram the funnel, the upside down funnel, the inverted, not upside down, inverted funnel, you know, upside down, inverted, whatever.
I get it.
Inverted funnel. I mean, just when I like it. I like the fact that you can do that. And another thing that was really important is big lists don't matter. I mean, the day of you have 100,000 people on your list, and you send emails out, and boy, people are going to open those emails, and boy, they're going to sign up for your newsletter, and boy, that's going to happen. It just doesn't happen anymore. People aren't opening their newsletters. People aren't opening their emails. Their big lists. It's not about the size of the list. It's about the interaction that you have with the people. Another thing is your Google Hangouts. Not many people. I mean, it will become the day. Right now, the day is everyone's doing teleseminars and webinars. So you say that greater sameness does not get you better results. So everybody's doing teleseminars. Why do you want to do teleseminars? What you want to do is something different. You want to do something where you're leading the pack and people are going to follow you. And that's one of the things I like about the way you do your business.
I want to help people kind of step into your shoes, if you will, because I really believe that self-reflection is absolutely crucial, and having a system, all of you, to self-reflect. One of our speed to market principles is that he or she who self-reflects the greatest controls marketplaces. Linda, as you step back into when you, in your heart of hearts, decided that you wanted to invest in the program, what was that? If you could tell me, what was that, or where did that happen in the educational process very specifically?
I think it happened pretty fast. I think it happened, I think at the beginning, it happened really after I watched that long webinar. I don't remember the link that you sent me, but you sent me a link, and it was about an hour or so that I watched it. And I think then that I knew that I wanted to work with you. I didn't know when. It's like, okay, I don't know when I'm going to, but I'm going to set this as one of my goals. And then we had a conversation, and you answered some of my questions. Then I looked at a few more things, but I'm the kind of person that if I'm going to work with you someday, why not work with you now and get going on this? Why wait a year and put these principles in a year later? I want to do it now. So I make decisions fast.
You do.
I do my research. I believe in doing both logical and emotional decisions. In other words, in the sales process that I teach people that I work with, is that if you only make emotional decisions, and in the emotion you make that decision, tomorrow I might feel a different emotion. But if you only have a logical, and that's all you do is logic, then you never really take action, because there's always a logic that you can or not and stuff. So it has to be a combination of both the logical, this makes sense, and the emotional, I want to do it now. And you put those two things together, then the logic, the next day you wake up and, oh, I'm a little scared. Oh my gosh, that was a big, big decision. Oh, then the emotions are like fearful, but the logic is there. This makes sense. So it's a combination of both, but it came on pretty fast. Now, I still had to work out the details as far as, you know, all the money and all this kind of stuff. But I mean, as far as the decision to do it, you have to make that decision first, then you'll work out the details.
Let me ask you this. What did it feel like to make that investment?
Very scary. I mean, to be honest with you, but it also exciting. It's exciting and scary at the same time. I mean, it's like, but I'm not investing in you, I'm investing in me. The money goes to you, but it's an investment in me, in my business, to up level what I'm doing. I really believe that you become like the people you associate with. My dad has taught me that since I was little. You become like who you associate with. So if you want to up level your game, you got to associate with people that are up leveling their game. And the other thing Jim Rohn used to teach is that you earn what the five closest people to you earn. So if you take the average of the five closest people, so if the five closest people you're associating with are at a different level than you want to be, then you have to up level the people that you're around. And so I knew, people that were going to be there were going to be people that are playing a bigger game. So.
Fantastic, and it's nice. I'm jotting down notes here as you're speaking as well. Remember, writing is the doing part of thinking. Everybody, if you're new to our Business Breakthrough Google Hangout, one of the concepts that we teach is the power of writing and really understanding and getting clarity on yourself and understanding that if you want a quantum leap in business, and I believe it's possible to make unbelievable quantum leaps in your business and in your life, but you can't be chained to anything in the past. If you think of a finely tuned athlete, running the 100 meters or the 200 meters or whatever, there's nothing that there's on their body that would inhibit them from maximum speed and getting off those starting blocks. Speaking of that, you're walking up the driveway of the Canadian Lake home. What's going through your mind, and what's going through your mind when you walk into the front doors of the Canadian Lake home for the 3-day intensive that we had last week?
Well, first of all, visually, it's a beautiful home. And when you walk in the door, the first thing you see all the way through the house is the lake. You see Lake Huron. I mean, it's incredibly beautiful. I mean, right there. It's not like houses over and you see it kind of in the distance. I mean, it is right there in the backyard. So that's one thing. And then right there in the front door, I walk in and I'm getting a chance to meet other people that I'm going to be associating and get to know over the next 3 days. And so, hi, how are you? This is so-and-so from, so-and-so. So I get a chance to meet all the people that I'm going to be associating with. It's warm, it's inviting, it's cozy. When I say cozy, it's not a big boardroom. One of the things I've been in before, I've been in other mastermind groups. And the thing I liked about this compared to those is this is smaller. There were 10 to 12 people there. And each person had a chance to actually present and share their business. The masterminds I've been in before, one of them we had a half-an-hour call throughout the whole year with the person that led it. In other words, 30 minutes in the entire year, one-on-one. And at the end of the year, that person did not know what your business was. Another one, there was no personal call with the leader, and it was an entire year of just group coaching, just group. You got on the call with groups. And so what I really liked is even before I came to the Canadian Lake home, you had this executive, the EMM calls, or the executive mentoring marketing, I don't remember the name.
Mastermind.
Okay, well.
You can tell Linda's new to the program, but that's okay, keep going.
I'm really new, so I'm learning these terminology. But during 2 of those calls, you spent time focused on me and my business for 2 hours before I even got there. And that's more time than I had in the other masterminds, quadrupled. I mean, it just was amazing before I even got there how much you had poured into me and helping me really take my information and all the experience that I have and put it into here's what I do. So.
Why don't you share with everybody what happened over those 3 days? If you could delve into that deeper for us.
Well, we went through the 10-step consultative process. And the thing is, there were several people that had already been part of the Omega Mind. They had been to a previous one of your masterminds, so they were further along in their consultative process and how, so some of them got up and presented, and it's like, holy cow, this is like amazing. Winton, for example, his what he was really inspiring, what he showed and what he taught. And so we had a chance to see people that were further on the path than we were. So we went through the 10-step consultative process. We Another thing I think was brilliant is that we actually did video testimonials. So I walked away from there from people that heard me talk about what I'm doing and my consultative process, and then gave me a video of it. Uh, Another thing that you taught us is about the importance of personal branding. And the personal, this is who I am and what I do. And because what you said, personal branding is even more than important than company branding, because people want the personal connection. If they want an advisor, they're not looking at the company to be their advisor, they're looking at a person to be their advisor. And so the personal branding is important. And then also just the brilliance that was sitting in the room. So, for example, when I was up there doing my consultative process, it wasn't just you that shared comments, it was the entire room. And people asked questions and people gave input and feedback. So each person had a chance for 45 minutes to share. We shared for 20 minutes and then had the room give us feedback for about 20, 25 minutes. So that was powerful.
That's great. Why don't you comment on, you've mentioned or you've alluded to the trusted advisory era in which we live in today. From your perspective, with 25 years of specializing in sales and sales training, what would you recommend, or what are some of the what did you learn, or what have you learned so far about or maybe reframe that. You've spent 25 years in sales as a trainer. Comment, if you would, on what you've learned at the 3-day intensive as it pertains to the advisory era in which we live. There we go. That's better.
Well, really, I get excited about it because information, when I think about information, is how do you make it different and how do you catch people's attention, and all the information just is so abundant and so free. And so to be an advisor, um, Kellen said this, he's one of the members that was out there. He said that people in the advisory age want three things. They want either a shortcut, how to do what they're doing faster. He says they want it done with you, which means they want you as a coach, or they want it done for you. So with those three things in the advisory age, they're looking like hand holding. And I don't really mean like hand holding like they're a baby, but hand holding in, so for example, I don't do social media, but let's say that I just want to have somebody do my social media. That's done for me. Or it could be somebody that's teaching me how to do the social media. That's done with me. Or it could be just teaching me a shortcut. And at each level, you get the person to invest in you at that level. So if it's a shortcut, they're not going to pay as much as if it's done for you. So the different levels, but the advisory ages, they want your unique differentiation. So for example, if I'm teaching sales, there's hundreds of sales trainings out there, but what is it about me that makes me different? And it isn't really sales training that I want to do. I want to take salespeople and help them double their revenue while they double their time and cut their sales cycle in half. And so what can I do to make myself different so that they want me to be their trusted advisor? And they know that if I'm a trusted advisor, I'm going to have a wealth of information. But I'm not out there trying to sell my information. I'm out there trying to sell me and what I can do for them.
Yeah, and to take it one step further, so everybody knows that, as a trusted advisor, the first thing that you want to do is be a person of value in today and build relationships and develop them. And everybody in Omega Mind, and we run these regularly, and not everybody can make each one that we do, but we've got a very cool model where we bring in, 12 to 15 people at each one that we do, 2 or 3 day intensives, and really gives you an opportunity so people don't have a chance to hide, have a chance to really get feedback on their company, on their business, and because everybody's vetted directly by me, we've got quality people sitting and a part of Omega Mind. So that advisory era, a lot of people in Omega Mind look at the Omega Mind program as really almost like their own advisory group for their company. And we've commented before that it's a really powerful concept if you create your own advisory group for your company. And Omega Mind has been designed as one of the benefits, the model that I'm using and teaching to all of our Omega Mind clients. Linda, how has your branding and market differentiation changed over the last few weeks that you've been a part of Omega Mind?
Well, first of all, the personal brand. I don't think I was doing anything as far as the personal. Just getting clear was one thing. Clarity is really important, and then understanding the power of personal branding and using what you have for your personal brand as a model, so you understand what the powerful components are in a personal brand. I mean, you could tell somebody you got to create a personal brand, and then you start thinking, well, that's a logo, and that's a picture, and that's the colors, and that's the design. I mean, that's what normally people think that branding is. But what I gathered from what you're teaching and what we worked on is the fact that the branding is saying who I am and what I do that differentiates me from the marketplace. It has nothing to do with the logo. That's something that adds to it, but the power is knowing with clarity, what I do and how I'm different in the marketplace.
What's really fundamental too to add to that is for all of you that are watching this, to ensure that you build your market differentiation from your brand. So personal branding and building your own company brand, your differentiation, your USPs, if you will, grow from your branding. Linda, what would you recommend to all of our viewers right now as the next actionable step, or maybe if people are just, this is their first time they've been on our Business Breakthrough Google Hangout, their first actionable step, what would you recommend to them?
Well, first of all, they want to know where they're going to be in a year from now. Do they want to do business the same as they've been doing it? Because, unless something changes, they're going to be doing their business the same way. So how are they going to change do they want to up-level their business? Do they want to go to another level? And if they do, then look at what you can do for them. Because if you're the right message at the right time for the right person, then they really need to be looking at this. So for example, what I would suggest that they do is go through some of your past Google Hangouts. Look at them. Does that resonate with them? Are you teaching the things that they're going to use in their business? I would say schedule a one-day intensive. You have this one that's coming up July 28th. We're already past June. July 28th, and that's a Monday. And then when that one, I think you have that almost full, or you have one spot left or something like that. So if they can't make July 28th because it's too fast coming up, then watch for your next one. Put it on the calendar and make it happen. Because that's what I think. You can't say, well, I got things going. We're all busy. If you're successful, you're busy. And there's never enough time. There's more time. I mean, there's more things to do than there's ever time to do it. But put it on your calendar and make it happen. And so is the next one going to be in Canada too?
The next one's at the Canadian Lake Home. And Linda, just so all of our listeners know, we have an early notification list of several thousand people. I think most people realize that. We didn't actually, I do this. We've had a number of emails and people calling in. Glenn, normally you open up one seat for people that watch Google Hangouts. We've been watching. If we can't get them on live, we're still watching because I've done that each time. And so I will squish one of you in, and I'll tell you how in just a minute here. And so keep going, Linda.
Well, just think that I personally haven't been to a one-day intensive, so that isn't how I made the decision. But I think that for a lot of people, that is an important thing for them to do, is spend a day and see what value you give, and what that means for them. And so, if Omega Mind is the right thing for them, they can get a chance to see you in action and see what they're going to get out of it. And then I guess just do the as much research as they can in terms of watching what you have online. Go to YouTube and put in your name and watch the videos that you have there and say, okay, and then decide what their next step is.
Yeah, and for those of you that are new, you definitely want to if you go to our Hangout page, newgurumodel.com/hangout, you can get to our past Google Hangouts. We've got years of content there, but you can go back and take a look, which would be a very smart thing for you to do. And secondly, Linda, we'll come back to you here in just a second. But what I will do for our viewers here is I will give a one seat for free. You will be squished in because we are packed out for our July 28th one-day intensive. Everybody is personally vetted by me, and due to the integrity of the process, if you want a free ticket, you'll need to go to newgurumodel.com and click on the business consulting page. And on the business consulting page there, you hit the drop down menu and fill out the do you qualify page there. And that is the application. And just as somebody coming into our Google Hangout, we have one free ticket, and that will be you will be scholarshiped in. But because everybody is vetted directly by me, and again, due to the integrity of the process, I tell everybody that they are vetted directly by me. You will need to go and qualify for that. So what we'll do is I'll keep that available for you over the next little while, and fill that out, and my company will notify you, and we have a vetting process for that. So if you'd like that, successful people today are able to make fast decisions. And because we live in such an overcrowded marketplace where people they move slowly through people's business funnels and get stuck in there, and that's why they don't work anymore. That's why you don't want to use them anymore. You want to flip the business funnel, or whatever Linda told you to do in her own language. Flip it, invert it. I'm not sure what she said, but you want to understand the power of the pardon, Linda?
Just upside down is what I said, but
upside down. Okay. Yeah, upside down. An upside down cake or whatever they used to be called when I was a kid. I think my mom made them at the odd time. But you want to really understand the power that the advisory age is really flipping the information age, and understanding the power of becoming a resource to your market, understanding how to structure your advice, and understanding that when people come in for a one-day intensive, there's no high pressure, there's no hard sales, there's nothing like that. You're here to learn. I'm here to give you $35,000 of content in that one day. That's why clients invest 25 grand for a one-day intensive with me to come in for a one-on-one. So we've got people, entrepreneurs that make fast decisions. You heard Linda today made a fast decision. Certainly she did some calculating, right? And I highly recommend that you two do too. But at the end of the day, you heard Linda also say that, overthinking, in her own way of saying this, overthinking just leads to so many problems. And at some point, you got to say, you know what, I got to do this. And I want to get out of the pain and frustration of the current business model that I'm in, and really understand how to get rid of anything, all the, what's shackling me to the past, or what's inhibiting me because I'm still using and taking the wrong kind of action steps. You want to build off of a completely different set of skill sets today that are congruent with the advisory era. So, Linda, how can people find out more about you?
Okay, well, my website is impactsalesnow.com, although I am getting ready to make some major changes. I also wanted to say one last thing about the whole decision-making process, if you
Okay,
have
sure.
1 minute. I believe that the way you do business is the way you're going to attract people into your business. So if I'm a person that is, dragging my feet and I can't make a decision and I've got problems I've got to solve and I've got objections I've got to overcome, then that's the kind of person that I'm going to attract into my business. Because if I have trouble making decisions, then how am I going to help people make a fast decision when it comes time to working with me? So how I want people to come to me needs to be how I'm doing my business. So if I'm doing my business, I make good solid decisions, I make them quickly, I do my research, but I don't, then I'm going to attract people like that. So that when it comes time for them making a decision, I can tell them in integrity, I didn't take 6 months to a year to make a decision. If that's what you do and that's what you need, that's what you're going to attract. Because you cannot tell somebody to make a fast decision when it took you a year to make a decision. And so, in the same with investing in a program like this, how can you turn around and ask people to invest at a high level if you're not willing to invest at a high level? You can only ask people to do what you're willing to do yourself. And so that's what I think is important. Make fast decisions and invest at a high level so that you can attract people that make fast decisions and invest at a high level.
Well stated. Picture yourself, each of you, being involved in a program where you've got access to me on a completely regular basis, several times each week. Come in, we look at your business, you get a chance to meet, work with other Omega Mind clients that get it, that are going to support you, help you close deals, give you endorsements, video testimonials, whatever you need. We've got a high level integrity process behind everything that we do. So that's the power of what we're teaching, and we're here to assist you. So, Linda, thank you so much. I appreciate your time. And if you want to be involved for the 1 day intensive, I will squish you in. I will tell you, you will be squished. It's newgurumodel.com/do you qualify. Newgurumodel.com/do hyphen you hyphen qualify, all lowercase. You can get that at our newgurumodel.com site. And also, our July issue of Lifestyle Entrepreneur is coming out later on this week. And you can get it on iTunes. It's going to be available for the Google market very shortly. That's budurl.com/LEMAG. Budurl.com/LEMAG. If you are really open to taking an unbelievable step in the right direction, this is how pumped everybody is coming in. We have got most of the people that are coming into the Canadian Lake Home are through referrals now. My CPA from Boca Raton is coming up to our July 28th. And he said, Glenn, I really want some of my clients to come. And so we had to go through a vetting process there. We've got unbelievable high caliber entrepreneurs coming in to the 28th of July. If you want to live a little bit on the edge, like Linda has, and you want to, and yes, I know your schedule is probably crazy busy like mine, like Linda's, like she's a mother, I'm a father, we run companies, life keeps happening, it doesn't stop. But if you want to live on the edge a little bit, and completely open up your mind to what's possible and getting yourself out of the being held hostage to a business funnel and a business model right now that is undermining your true value, and you really want to command maximum fees and royalties for high price programs and services, then do what I just said. Go to newgurumodel.com/do you qualify. I showed you the link earlier. Apply, and I hope that you're the lucky one. If you are, I will call you. There'll be a quick vetting process just to ensure you're the right candidate. It's a right fit. for you, and I want to challenge you to live on the edge a little bit. Um, my wife and I have, off and on, as we've grown our company, making huge investments back into our company. And I'll tell you this, as Linda said it really, really well, if you're not living with a high sense of positive self-expectancy, and you can hear that in Linda, she gets it, she knows it. She's been in the sales industry for 25 years. She knows what's going on, and she knows what makes this program so much different than anything else that's out there. Um, but she said it so aptly today. She said, You've got to be scared, and there's also got to be this kind of quiet calm, this excited feeling that you're ready. And I want you to experience exactly what Linda did, walking up the driveway of the Canadian Lake Home, opening up the front door of the One Day, and meeting me, meeting my wife, my kids, and high-end, top-quality entrepreneurs that are coming in from all over the place. And I want to show you our proprietary systems that have allowed us to grow one of the fastest growing coaching and high-end training companies. You're going to absolutely love it. You're going to be immersed. You're going to walk away with a lot of tools. You're going to want to bring your camera. You're going to want to take a lot of pictures because I go quickly. And most importantly, you want to come ready to play a big game. And what Linda can tell you is that every Omega Mind member that comes in is ready to play a big game. And they understand that there's two takeaways that you're going to get with me and with our programs. There is what one of my clients call, and it's Ross Rain, so I'll attribute that to him. He calls it two types of benefits or advantages of Omega Mind. There's the core advantages and benefits, that is, being able to command maximum fees and royalties for high-end programs and services and closing those deals with my assistance, with other Omega Mind members' assistance. And then there's the collateral advantages and benefits. All the other really cool things that we're in business for, right? To continue to contribute to a 501c3 or start our own not-for-profit company, to have more time with our kids and be able to travel, right? To be able to follow our luxury home coaching and consulting model like many of my clients have. You got their own luxury properties now that are increasing in valuation, that are monetizing them, not just their own intensives, but because they're also renting them out. And there's just so many things that you're going to win, not just in the core competencies that we're going to assist you with, but of the collateral competencies. And those are so far, and there's so many, that it would literally take us an entire day to go through all of them, because everybody comes with a whole set of wants and desires and what they really want their life to look like and their business to look like. Because we're all unique at the end of the day, right? We all have our own guiding principles of what we want, how we want to give back. And sure, it's nice to make money, right? And sure, it's nice to make a lot of money. But for those of you and the people that we attract, it's not just about that. It's more about what can you do with that money to give back. We make huge investments back into my own company to make Omega Mind and to offer the kind of support and assistance that we do for all of our clients. And we couldn't do that if we didn't have high-end programs and services. And that's what you got to remember. And as Linda said, and she said it so well, Linda, I'm glad I got this recorded here. But if you're not willing to invest in your own in a high-end program yourself, and if you're not willing to live a little bit on the edge and do something completely different, how can you ever expect to make a quantum leap in business, honestly, and in life, and in anything that you do? So I want to encourage you to play at the highest levels. And Linda, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you very much.
All right. I look forward to our next Omega Mind training event. It'll be next week. You'll meet another one of my clients. I'll be doing the one-day intensive, and one of you will be joining me during that one-day intensive at the Canadian Lake Home. But during our normal time, I'm going to be interviewing another one of our clients that literally made the investment a couple of days before coming into Omega Mind. So I want to pick his brains. He's a very sharp guy. He is unbelievably intuitive. He comes from an IT background, but he's got a lot of amazing skills. And I'm going to be interviewing him. You'll get a chance to watch it during our normal Business Breakthrough Google Hangout. You don't want to miss that interview because you're going to learn a lot. And it's one thing to hear from me. It's another thing to hear from our other clients in Omega Mind. So on behalf of the entire Awaken team, on behalf of the great Linda Schwader, who hails from Dallas, Texas, live from our international office in Sarnia, Ontario, Canada, it's Glenn Dietzel here. I look forward to our paths crossing again on the next Google Hangout, and for one of you, at the Canadian Lake Home. Good luck, and I look forward to talking with all of you again really soon. Thanks,
Okay.
Linda.
Mhm.